Hi, everyone. We're going to talk about merging duplicate records today. On Family Search, we have a person's page with one ID number and one name. And we hope that that's all the pages that there are, but sometimes Family Search will have two pages, two different ID numbers, but it is the same individual. So I want to show you how that process works, and we're going to use this with Martha Howie. I'm going to share my screen with you. And we are now on Martha's page. You can see that Martha has James Murray Porter as her husband. She's got three children, Mary A. Porter, Joseph Franklin Porter, who we've been working on quite a bit, and the new little son that we added, Thomas D. Porter. So if I look over on the right side here, Family Search has, now that we've added more records, has said there's a possible duplicate. Now that we have identified that Patty is the same as Martha, they're saying there is a possible duplicate. So if I want to compare that, and I don't want to review and merge it yet, I just want to look at it, I can roll my mouse over Patty Howie, right click it, and open that link in a new tab. So that gives me an opportunity just simply to look at it. So if I open this new tab, I can see Patty Howie is married to James Murray Porter. His name is spelled just slightly differently. That doesn't really matter. And they have Alice Porter, Mary Alice Porter, as a daughter. So Mary Alice Porter is born in 1896. If I look on Martha's page and scroll down to her family, 1896, and it's Mary A. Porter. My suspicion is that they are the same people, but I want to go and look at the record sources before I make a decision. So I'm coming back to the one that says Patty Howie. I'm going to look at what sources are attached to her. And I see down here, Patty Howie is in an entry for Mary Porter Helms. It's a death certificate of Mary, her daughter. So as I open that up and look at that, I can see that Patty Howie's female, husband James Murray Porter, and the daughter is Mary Porter Helms. So it's her death record. It's her daughter's death record. Says that her birth year is 1896. Her burial date and place was in 1972 in North Carolina. She's 76. She's single. She used to be a secretary, and it also tells her spouse's name, who's John Warren Helms. So that gives us additional information about her daughter, is who Mary's spouse was. So we want to actually look at the death record right here and give a little bit more detail. We want to just look at all of our options to know what we're talking about. So certificate of death in North Carolina, looks like it's a nursing home. And it says right here, her surviving spouse is John Warren Helms. And this is Mary Porter Helms. And she was separated from her husband at the time. Her occupation used to be a secretary. Her father's name is James Murray Porter. Her mother's maiden name was Patty Howie. So now we know who Patty's daughter married, and we have that little bit of additional information about her. So now I'm going to look at the other record that is on this Patty Howie's page to make sure that we're looking at the same individuals. And Patty Porter's husband is J.M. Porter, which is what we had found when we were first looking. The daughter is Mary Alice. This is a marriage record for J. Warren Helms. And it also gives the father's name and the mother's name of J. Warren Helms. So as we look down here, it said J. Warren was actually John Warren Helms. So now we have quite a bit of information. If we go back to Martha's page here, the possible duplicate of Patty Howie looks extremely likely. There are two ways that we can actually attach this record. One is just to click possible duplicate and review and merge. The other way we can do that is to click on the ID number, copy the ID, scroll down, and we can merge by ID. So then all we have to do is paste right there and continue. That very first step takes you to exactly the same place. So I'm going to just show you the first one up here. It's right on the top, easy to do, review and merge. It's going to take me to exactly the same place. So now what we're looking at here is this is step 1 of 3. They want you to ask the question, are these people a possible match? The surviving person is going to be on this side. If you've been merging and reviewing before, this is going to look a little bit different. The surviving person is Martha Howie. Here's her birth and her death, and here's her ID number. Everyone here, everything information here on this left-hand side will be deleted. Tells you that right here. Information in this column will be deleted at the end of the merge. So we just want to look at these two. We're not going to delete or do anything right now. We're just going to look at them. This Patty Howie has no birth or death. Martha, we have identified that already about her. We know her birth is 1872 and her death was in North Carolina and she was buried in North Carolina. We have put that her nickname is Patty. We do have the 1900 and the 1920 census already attached to her. We have her spouse is James Murray. This spouse has James Murray in addition. Notice he has a different ID number here. So there's actually two pages out there for him. And then we have Mary Porter, Mary A. Porter, and Mary Alice Porter here. And they have two different ID numbers. Actually, who we're wanting to merge right now is the one at the top, which is Martha and Patty. So as we look at this information, we say, yes, these are the same person. So I click, yes, I want to continue. So now as I look at the information, this is where I can make some changes. If I felt like I wanted my surviving person to be over here, I could switch them. But in this case, this page has a lot more information. So I'm going to leave it just like this and allow this to be deleted. I'm not going to replace the name with Patty Howie because we know this was her birth name. This was simply a nickname. And they don't have birth and death, so that doesn't relate to replacement. As we scroll down, then it's allowing me, it's already adding over a second page for James Murray and Mary Alice Porter. So it's going to add those on to Martha's page. So she'll actually have two husbands and two children. We'll have to go merge them separately. And then we know her parents, Ilmina, who we had talked about previously in records. And as I scroll down, you can see right here with this dotted line around it, these were the records that talked about the death records and the marriage record here with Warren Helms for her daughter. So they automatically slid them over from the left over to the right. And we want to keep those, so we want to just keep it as it is. We're saying, yes, we want to continue. And so now we need to have a reason for the merge. It's moved everything over onto the right side. And we can say duplicate relationship. And Martha was the birth name, and Patty was the nickname. Mary A is the same as Mary Alice. So that gives us enough information to know that we can go ahead and finish our merge. So we can just scroll down, look, everything looks good, everything's been added over here. Just to verify that, we can finish the merge, the top or the bottom. So now that is gone. They're saying you merged it, it looks great, the merge is successful. If I'm clicking back on Patty's Howie, the other Patty Howie's page, and go to her details here, I'm going to click my refresh button up here, and it will notice this big black bar. Say that person was deleted. Then it tells you who the surviving person is. The surviving person was Martha Howie, which is right over here. It tells me the reason that I put, and it tells me that Shelley Walker and I was the one who did that merge. If you wanted to disagree with me, you could send me an email. You could edit contact settings right there, but that's me. So you couldn't edit my contact settings, I could. So this will tell me exactly what happened to this person. It stays out there, just kind of out in cyberspace, but it's not attached to anybody. So I'm going to click off that deleted person there, and now we have a surviving person. So I'm going to look down at the family view. Now you can see I have two James Murray. There's one ID number for James Murray, and here's another. As I open up the children, you can see that I have two for Mary. So now we're going to go to Mary's page and review that merge. And we'll click on Mary's page right here. And it tells me I have a possible duplicate. So now I'm going to show you the other way to actually merge that, just so that you can see both ways. I'm going to click on the possible duplicate, Mary Alice's page. I'm going to copy her ID. Going to scroll down, merge by ID, and then I'm going to right click, paste that ID number in there, and continue my merge. So the same screen comes up. I can see this is going to be the surviving person, and this is the possible duplicate, which will be deleted. Now, as I look at this, I can see Mary Alice Porter has a burial date. This side, the side that I originally had, did not have a burial. Then as I continue to scroll down, I can see that this side has a spouse. I did not have her spouse. This side has more sources. So actually they are a match, but I want to switch which one is deleted. So I'm going to switch, and I want the surviving person to be Mary Alice Porter. So I switch positions. So now this side on the right has a lot more information, and I know they're the same person, so I want to hit yes, continue. So now I want to look at the details again and make sure I'm including everything. So I have her full name over here. The birth, I'm making a note that this has June. This one does not, because I found her in the census. So I'm going to replace that information. It just writes right over the top of it. And this has the death, and it has the burial, which has a lot more than, these are all blank over here. And then I have the spouse, which I didn't have the spouse on the other one. It has a marriage date, and it has a child in addition. And then it has parents. So they've added both of the parents and the siblings over. It's also added the sources that I had there on Mary Alice's page, put them all into one. So I want to continue and say Mary A. Porter is the same person as Mary Alice Porter. Her spouse has been added and sourced. It's an excellent reason right there. And I'm going to finish my merge. So now it takes me back to Mary Alice's one. If I were to go to the other Mary Alice page, it would show me the big black bar that says person deleted. So now I have her name, I have her birth, I have her death, and I have her burial. And I can edit that burial and say, hey, you know, somebody didn't actually standardize that. The more that you standardize records, the more that the computer can help you, because it recognizes the standardized forms. It'll still help you, but it'll help you a little bit more if you standardize them. That's why we make a point of it. So the reason I'm looking is standardized, and click save. Okay, so as I continue to look down the page here, I can see now that she has a husband, Warren Helms, and I didn't have to go through and add those other sources. It automatically added them. It added the spouse, which is fabulous. But now she has two sets of parents. And under here on the children, there's just Mary Alice Porter on this one. And then she's got two siblings here. So as I look at that information, I can say Martha Howie has GMYL-446, and that is exactly the same page. So she has one page for her mother, but she has two pages for her father. So I would like to merge those pages to make the family all complete. And I know that this guy I want to put into that one because this one has more information. So I'm going to copy the ID number. I'm going to go to the other man's page, and the possible duplicate did come up, but I wasn't sure that it was going to. So I did have it copied, so if I had to, I could merge by ID. Sometimes the possible duplicate won't come up. You're working faster than the computer can keep up with you. In this case, it did come up, but I always copy the ID so that I know where I'm going to go. So I've looked at these people before. I know they are the same. This is very simple. Yes, continue. Now all of this is going to be deleted. And notice his name is spelled a little bit different here. So I just kind of want to look at the sources and say, he's spelled with no A here and here. And he does have an A there. But on these records, he doesn't. So there's two records that don't. One's the son's marriage and death, and the daughter he does. It's your choice. You can pick. I can always go back to the other one and edit it. I'm probably going to leave it just as it is. I can see the birth though. This has a location, so I want to definitely add that over. And I know that he died before 1920 because he did not show up in the next census, unless I can verify that they were divorced or separated. Pretty much think though he had passed away. So then I look at this information, and this one includes a marriage, so I do not want to replace that. This is exactly the same ID number, so I just want the duplicate to be deleted. I want it to be deleted. I'm going to allow that to stay in the delete column. And so all of the sources have been added over, so I click continue. And then I can put, this one was very simple, and so I might say duplicate relationships and finish my merge. Okay, then I'm going to scroll down. There's a bunch more records now that I can add. And I can see this is a death record with the A. I might go in and put that A back in there. This was another death record without the A. I can just choose that later. So I can look at James Murray Porter. He doesn't have any additional relationships. I'm going to go to Martha's page. Just check out that the family looks really good. There's no additional people there. I'm going to go now to Mary Alice's page. I just want to make sure that she doesn't have duplicate parents. And the whole family looks good. She's got her son, her husband, and just her two siblings. So you merge one person at a time. So I started with merging Martha. Then I went and merged her daughter, and then I realized I had to merge her husband too. But in the process, it gave me a lot more records on each page, and the whole family now looks complete. And I can go ahead then next and check out all the record hints and add additional things. Just wanted to show you how merge and review worked. And we may not have ever known, maybe they never knew, Mary Alice Porter never knew that her mother's real name was Martha, but we knew because we had been researching whole families at a time. And so I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you again next time.